Hey dudes, what's going on? So this is happening. This is my wife's SS. It's a 02 or 01 VX, and it's got a fair few Ks on it. She's travelled some distance, this one, and when I first bought it, I did a lot of maintenance to it. Got it pretty spick and span and you know, presentable. But after I built my car, this one sort of didn't really get much attention for about a year or so, and she got a bit dirty and she developed some oil leaks that we didn't fix. So we're kind of at this point now. The motor has an upper engine tick. I'm pretty sure it's just going to be a lifter issue. So this is a 5.7 LS1. Comes factory in the V8 Commodores from, I think, 98 to 2005. I think after that they go to the 6 litre in the VZ. So as you can see, she's pretty filthy, and I think I found the main culprit of the oil leak. So I'm going to do a teardown now. We can see what's happened. Yeah, cut to time lapse. Alrighty. The interesting thing here, I think, is this an aftermarket head gasket. So heads have been off before, and they've done a head gasket on it at least beforehand. Pistons are covered. Got crap all over them. So what we're here for is actually the lifters themselves. So look at this. Look at this junk. Crapping it everywhere. We're going to be replacing these anyway. Got some new genuine ones. The bolts are okay to use, just make sure you torque them correctly. Okay, just a quick one while I remember it too. If you ever hear about 3-bolt length, 2-bolt length LSs, it actually is talking about the different bolts that hold the head down. So you'll have on each side, on a 3-bolt, you'll have 10 of these. 2 of these, 5 of these. Generally, it's the early Gen 3s and the early LS1s, I think, that have 1 MA and 3 MA on the back of the head. But I have found others that have different codes that actually use the 3 bolts as well. So these ones get used on the outside and the inside of the rocker cover, but these ones on the inside of the rocker cover on either end, they're actually a bit shorter, and the thread goes all the way up. Now I don't know why that is. I don't know if the head depth is shorter, or if the actual bolt depth that goes into the block, you can't go that far, so they use shorter ones. But yeah, anyway, let's get back to it. Alright, gonna pull the lifters now and see how they look. Dang. Feels like it's probably worn a groove in there. It's kind of stuck. Alright, it's coming out. It's just tight. Oh, no, I got it. Alright. So lifter number 1. Do they look suspect at all? Got a little focus there we go. So this one doesn't look too bad. Normally you'll see it'll either the roller got stuck at some point and it'll have a flat spot on it, or it'll be pretty chunked up all the way around. So these actually might be aftermarket lifters. I'm sure the last ones I pulled out, the oil hole was in a different spot than factory ones. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. But I'll pull the rest of these out, see if I can find anything funny. Alright guys, so doesn't appear to be anything crazy going on with these. At least not on this bank. So if it will focus. No, it's not going to do it. Alright, well, that's probably as good as it'll get. So I'm going to pull the other head off. You guys already seen me take this one off, so I'm going to do this one off camera. I'll rip that off, pull those lifters out, and we'll check it out. Alrighty, so all lifters out. None are showing real, excessive forms of wear, so I'm assuming someone's done lifters before I've owned this car. Being that the head gaskets are off, it might have just had a simple head gasket lifter and buckets kit. So yeah, I can't really see anything wrong with the lifters, but I don't know if it'll show on camera. See that? It's probably not going to do it. Try and zoom in. Yeah, that goes. Might be able to see the off color. There, you can see it on that one. So it looks like the cam's probably pretty flogged. You can see it right there. It's not going to want to zoom. Not going to want to focus. Yeah. But yeah, you can see. You can definitely see the discoloring. There's a darker silver mark on it, and that's just the cam getting chewed up, I think, probably from low oil pressure, because it did get a couple of oil changes. I got an oil change when I first bought it, and then it had one 6 months later, and it was due for an oil change now. So it had oil. I just don't think it had oil pressure. Given the pump in the front looks OEM. Yeah, 310,000 on that puppy, and it's probably had it. So got a brand new one to go on. Got a milling. I think it's an OE pump. It's not a high pressure or high flow or anything like that. So I think I'm gonna flip it over, drain out the rest of the coolant so it stops landing on my floor. Pull the sump off, pull the pickup, and then pull the pump. We'll pull the cam, check it out on the bench. Alright, so everything's out of the way now. I'll pop off the cam retainer plate and then check it out. Cam retainer looks good, that probably wasn't leaking, so. Okay. I always forget, you can use, there's two OE bolts that are exactly the same as that are quite long. I can't remember if it's the power steering pump bolts, but you actually have two factory bolts that are somewhere to do with your ancillaries that you can screw in here and help you get the cam out, because it's a hollow tube. I'm actually just going to get a long screwdriver. So, long screwdriver up the guts of her, and then just wiggle her around until you get her out. Last one. Yeah, man. There we go. Alright. I'll give this a clean off. Alright. So the cam lobes don't look damaged too much. Like they're not pitted or ground out. Usually you'll see, if you seize the lifter, as the lifter comes around to the top of the lobe and it's trying to open the valve, it'll chew a groove across the lobe. But there's definitely wear, but it's not massive considering the cage of this car. Another thing, it's strange, I just noticed, I don't know if I've got that in frame or not, but when you look down the camshaft, you've got left, right, left lobes. Just go around this way. Left, right, left. Just go around. Left, right, left. And then when it comes down to this one, these two cam lobes are quite close to each other. You've got straight ones, and then I guess it's reverse, left, right. If you guys are, I don't know, engine builders or cam builders, cam grinders, I guess, let me know. Is that lobe separation there? Is that your LSA? Is that what they call your lobe separation angle? That's what gives you your chop, or is it something more to do with intake and exhaust indifferences? Yeah, I'm keen to know, let me know. Alright, so the last thing to come off is going to be rear main plate. Someone's glued it already. Must have had a leak at some point. Instead of changing the seal, they glued it. Awesome. Usually I pull that off before I put it on the stand, but I just didn't get around to it. So I'm going to pull the rear main plate, check that nothing up in there's got any bits hanging in it. Then I'm going to scrub this block top to bottom, get it nice and clean and ready for reassembly. It's been a couple hours now, I kind of got a little carried away. The block is clean now, it's reassembled. The camshaft's in, I've got a double row timing set that's gone in, milling oil pump, cleaned everything from the inside out, scraped off all the gasket that was left on there, and we're just putting in the lifters at the moment. So new lifters, new lifter buckets or lifter trays, whatever you want to call them. So we're using LS7 style lifters. These ones are from Crow Cams. Had a stroke. Yeah, so these ones are from Crow Cams. They're pretty affordable, really. I don't think these cost all that much, and they're a bit of assurance being in the LS7 type. They're quite a good lifter. So I'm going to put the rest of this back together, and then we're going to go and have a look at tearing down the heads. So I guess I didn't really run you guys through a parts list of what's going to be done in this engine. It's basically the car's been running for a little while with a pretty bad oil leak, and it's got to the point where I had that tick, but I couldn't obviously see it with the lifters, so I assume it was probably low oil pressure. But the parts are going back in. We've got a high performance camshaft from VCM. It's a VCM 532, so it's only a small one. I think it's a 215, 223 at 50 with a 112 LSA. So it's probably one of their smaller ones. I don't think it's the smallest, but it's one you can use with stock gears and a stock auto and stock stalls. So basics of it is ARP bolts wherever I could. We've got some heavy duty 7.4 push rods. Just an aftermarket set of head bolts. I think these are just a black oxide set. So remember earlier I said there were two sizes. There's a 3 length and a 2 length set. Yeah, try and figure that out before you pull your head off. That way you don't have to buy 2 sets like I did. I regret it now, but anyway. So we got some valve springs to go in, just some pack beehive springs, or PSI pack. They probably are the same factory, just different box. And then yeah, so the entire engine's gasketed from top to bottom. There was a Rollmaster dual timing set that went in it as well. I think that's about it, eh? What else do we have? We had a gasket set. There's our cam card. So that's the cam specs there. Instructions, yeah, don't really need them, done it before. So what else do we have? We had the melon pump. That's about it. So the bottom end, I know it's gonna be some professionals and some internet heroes out there. The bottom end I'm not going to touch unless it gives me a bearing noise, and then I'll have it properly rebuilt. This is basically a scrub up, wash everything down, check everything out, make sure it's still serviceable, then put what I can back together, and then put the camshaft kit and all the supporting mods into that also. So yeah, this is not an entire rebuild, it's just basically what I call a scrub up. And then yeah, if it gives me troubles down the track, motor will come out, it's all fresh already up top, so I just have to send the bottom end off, have it machined, bearings put through it, and we'd go from there. So alrighty, so it's kind of getting a bit late out, can't really see because I got the LEDs on inside, but I've been here all day, it's dark outside, so I'm going to call it a day on this one. I got a fair bit done today, so bottom end's all done. I just got the heads on the ground over here. I got to label the heads. I'll do one at a time. I'll pull valves. I've got to change the valve stem seals, and I've got to put performance springs in. So I'm going to give those a good wash. I used the gurney, actually the hot washer, to clean everything out today, and it's bloody works pretty damn well, eh? I'll put some photos in here, just somewhere here, and show you what it was before and after. It was bloody crazy. So nice and clean now. Cleaned up everything else. Lifters are in. It's pretty much ready. I could drop it in as is. Put the flex plate on, of course. Drop it in as is. It's probably going to be a bit easier to slip the engine down and in, bolt everything up, bolt up the converter, bolt the engine mounts down, and then put the heads on once the block's in the car. But yeah, I don't know, I'll sort that out another day. Anyway guys, thanks for checking this video out. There'll be another one up probably 1 or 2 days after, and we'll keep going with it. Cheers.